Okay, so one of the cool things that I wanted to do, always wanted to do, was use the not the SP, the OP-1 field with the iPad, especially AUM, because you can run it directly in. Now, we know we can use MIDI. I'm not going to show the MIDI portion. You can hook MIDI up and control an instrument in here. And I said that this is more like a rack module for me to more than anything. But what's really cool is I wanted to be able to use this with these effects and then bring it back into here. So that's what this is. This is basically on a USB-C that has the ability to have headphone and mic, right? So I'm running the headphone out of here into the mic, which is going in here, and then you're hearing the headphones run into the SP, and I have a little compression on the SP. So I'm not going to put any compressors on here per se because it's already compressed here. So what I'm going to do is show you that you can use the effect. So I'm going to pull the effect in. So that's the pitch. You can hear how warbly it makes it sound. Now, my first inclination was, okay, cool, now I just record in here. And that's probably how I would do it. However, if a person didn't have an SP, but they wanted to record, they could use their headphones and record back into here. The only issue I found so far is if you go shift here and you put it on out in, it will send it back into here, right? But the problem is if you use a click track, it's going to record the click track. So if you turn on if you use the click track in here, it's going to record it. So it might be, and I haven't tried this yet. Let's set it for 89. You might be able to use a click track in here, do a pre-bar roll in. Don't set anything to record, but just hit it and use a pre-count there. And now let's see if we can record back in here without using, make sure the metronome is turned off. It is. Same tempo. That works. So if you use the internal click in here, it's going to mess it up. It'll record that click into your sound. However, if you use the click in AUM, it won't. So that's using shift and the ear. So that's how you do it. That was an on-screen, real-time discovery, because before when I was trying it kept using the click and I was like, well, I guess I can't use the metronome. But I didn't think about it to just as I was saying it. If you turn the metronome on there, you got yourself a good deal because you can record it that way. So that's pretty cool. You can also do the drums. So let's say you want to use the drums as knock plug-in. You want to use some drums. Here's Satala, or you want to use Koala for the drums. You can do that too. Now, the only difference in here is you got to do some switching. So if you got an SP, then use your SP for the drums. It's probably better. But if you don't and you want to do it into the OP-1 field, if you're interested in that method, then you're going to have to switch some things around. And what that means is that you'll need to switch this to the input here and then remove this to the headphone. Remove the headphones here and bring this into the headphones, because what you're doing is just sending the signal back into here. And then if you want to monitor it, I'm going to show you real quick. You put this here. And if you want to monitor it, right, you would have to put your headphones to monitor in here. So now you should, but you can also have, you got to switch it to so you see you got to switch it here to the stereo in. So this little device is kind of handy, and it's like 15 bucks on Amazon, and it's worth it. Right? I'm just playing it through here so you can hear, but everything is here going into here. So if you wanted to record that, then you would have to hold down record, open this up, ready? And you have to do it either, if you're trying to do it this way, if you got a one-hand drumming skill, go for it. I'm not that guy, so let me just do this. By the way, let me stop that because I just recorded over. And don't do that because there is no undo. If you have OP-1, you know that better than that. So you will literally record over it. So I'm not going to do it for now just because my mistake there just cost me some time. But definitely use the click up here. Use the click in here to get your timing if you need the click to do that. The other option for drums, you could use the internal ones with the sequencer. It's okay. It's just not my favorite. I prefer using Koala, to be honest with you. But so pick whichever one you feel, fits you. I'd rather use Koala. And the reason why is Koala has note repeat if I choose to use that. And that makes it easier to me when you want to just, let's say you just want a simple, not that. There we go. Let's just use that one. Turn on one shot. And you just want, remember, because you set the BPM in here too. So now you choose this one, hit note repeat, turn on the velocity. So now you come in here, hit that, and at the same time, I think I was off. Yeah, I was off. All right, so, the trick is set your in, one bar in, set your out there. Boom. Now you have the count in to match. It should match. Go here, set it to one bar. Okay, and then what you got to do is hit record. Of course, it's not matching. We'll have to figure that one out. I think, do you use Ableton Link for that? Does it link? Hold on. This part might be a little more challenging. I did not plan to do this, but you can see that you can use it. That was my point, was that you can use it. It will be a little more challenging though, because I haven't figured out how to get, like in Koala, the play will start for you. It'll start this, but when you're in AUM, it's different. So anyway, that's something I'll figure out later for you. But yeah, for right now, just know that you can use, well, you know what? Because you don't need you need that, but you don't need, now this you could do because you're not recording the incoming or the outgoing. So I take that back. So just use the metronome in here. The only time it affects it is if you're going to record back in using effects into here, but you're playing it here, using the sounds here to play effects back. That's the only time you'll be affected by the metronome being recorded. So you could technically do that, set the metronome, come back in this thing now, set the metronome, turn the pre-count off because you won't need it. Hit record. There's a delay there. Hold on. So that's the challenging part, is that there is a delay here. So I'm going to go back to Saitala, which is where I was at, because I just wanted to show you could use it. You might, now I know when I'm in Koala directly, I've used it in here and it was fine. So I don't know if the delay has to do with all this routing and what's going on. Could have to do with this too. I'm gonna turn it off. Let's just pick a basic kit. So without that, it's pretty simple, right? You have a count in. Stop. We're going to cut that front end off. So now you have that, and then you could do your second part. If you got it where you can drum it together, then that's perfectly fine. So this one, you can go back here, do the count in again. Simple, right? It's not the greatest drumming. I'm just showing you that you can do it, right? Okay, so now you got your drums. So what this is, a lot of people will want to put their drums in here, and that works. But because they have not, again, updated the app, the drum app utility that they had, which I think is the best thing, you can't really, you're going to have to bring in your drums and sample them in one at a time, or make a list and then play them in and it'll chop it for you. It's kind of a bit much, and you only got 20 seconds. So I wish they would fix the app, so that we would have this done a lot quicker. But until then, this is what you got. I would probably use the SP for my drumming more, but you could use Koala, you could use Satala, whichever one you're comfortable with. On the second track, maybe so if you want, you got to switch it back if you actually want to use. Now there's a, turn the mic off. Sorry about that. The microphone is in there. Caught a pickup. All right, so you got to make sure you turn that off. I forgot about that. Go back here. Don't leave it on the mic. Go back here, because the mic transforms into the line or the mic. So just make sure you go back to the out in. I might actually, I'm going to test this on another one. I'm probably going to get the USB one and try it, because if I can get that one, it has the power as well as the 2 USB. And then you can put like a split headphone splitter on there and split the sounds however you want them to go. Anyway, that's future. Right now, we're just talking about this. Now remember to turn off the metronome if you're going to use this recording method, because if you don't, and use the count in up here, the clicker, get yourself 1 bar. I would do it. Yeah, I would do it that way. Do the counting clicker here. Don't use the clicker inside of here. And all you have to do that is hold down record, and then start playing, and it should play. Because as soon as you hit a note, it triggers it, right? Otherwise, it's waiting for you. So let's say you have it and you want to add some chords. This will be the method. Make sure you got to set that out in, which we do, and start playing. By the way, when you go back in through here, this thing is still playing everything that's coming in back in. So you'll hear the drums. It doesn't, there's no way to not have it playing. So you have to remember, if you use this method with the OP-1 field, to remove stuff, etc., or else you're going to hear all your drums coming through your same method there. So see, because it's running through that chain. So there may be some routing I could do in AUM, and it just now clicked to me to think about this, but there may be some routing I can do to where you can route the effects to have different, let's say this is your main channel, and then it goes through an A, and maybe A is like, okay, this is what I'm going to use for these effects for my chords. These effects are going to be used for my bass. But this is only if you're using the internal sounds and wanting to use these, the effects in here. There's totally different things. So then the other thing that's going on is what I was showing you before, where you would use a MIDI controller and then you would route it back into here and play that way. So it's a lot of switching if you do it this way. The only other method that you could do is if you're using a DAW, then just plug straight in with the USB-C. Not a big deal. You're just recording in, and you're going to turn the MIDI, notes. When you do MIDI, you switch it to MIDI. When you're not doing MIDI, you're just playing, right? Then the other method is basically playing into like the OP-1, OP-1, the SP. And then when you're playing into the SP, you're doing your chords. You're plugging that into one. I think I've shown this method many times, how to record. Do your drums inside of here, set up a pattern, resample in pattern mode, and then keep building out parts till you finish. But that's if you're going to do it in the SP. Now you can send the SP back into the OP-1 field and put it back into here if you really just had to have it in here. It's up to you how you want to do it, but I'm just showing you a couple methods that work. Then you could go in and do your adjustments here. So that's if you're working in OP-1. So if you're on, let's say you were traveling somewhere and you couldn't take everything, but you could take your OP-1 and you could take this, your iPad, or even your iPhone, your iPhone, and you could find something like this for your iPhone where you had the headphones and the splitter like this. You could do the same method and be able to record parts using the effects and be able to switch it. So it's a process, but for portability, I would say is really nice. But to me, the laptops, to be honest with you, are just, well, nothing's going to beat this. I mean, not a laptop's not going to beat a small tablet. But if you have a 12.9 iPad, let's say you have a 12.9 iPad and you have a 13-inch MacBook Pro or whatever, those are basically the same size screen. The only good thing is this has effects in it. And unless you probably may have the same thing if you got like an Ableton or something, you got effects. So you can just play right into Ableton and record or whatever. Or you can use the iPad's effects if you like that. So you got options, but it's just whatever your workflow is. I'm just showing you your options that you can use within for recording ideas. And it's kind of nice to record back into here too. You could, because it's pretty easy to section off the songs. And then recently, I think it was Sun Wu who showed you can actually record you can record the effects. You can record the tape stop. Now, I'm going to do this on camera, but once I do this, this will be the end of the video because it's going to mess it up probably. But I'm going to hit record. I'm on the drum track. It doesn't really matter. It should be working both, but I'm going to hit record, and then I'm going to see if it'll record all this. All right, let's see what it did. Oof. So it recorded all that stuff, but it really wrecked it. So it's not good recording though. I mean, I guess maybe it's this track, but it doesn't sound good to me. It just chopped pieces up, looks like. Okay. But anyway, so that's the end of the video. I just wanted to try that to see what it would do. But it does record the effect. At least we know that. And I'm not sure how that was affected going into this method. But you could run your stuff through. Let's say if you had like a piano. So I'm just gonna. You record something in. And then try to go back in and resample it now with an effect. So let's put like this delay on here. So I'm going to resample over that. So I'm just going to hit record. It's going to play and sample over it. Let's slow the tape down. That's pretty cool. So you can make some really unique things. Oh wait, you know, it was still running through there. I apologize. Let me run it now one time. I don't know if it did it or not, but now because my brain can't remember. Nope, didn't. No, it did it. So it's interesting, you know, how it's affected the way you can run stuff through and back and record exactly what you're hearing. So you can add those effects in and really, let's try it again. Let's record over it. I'm actually stacking the same thing over like a few times, so it's actually making the sound worse. But let's play it back now here to see what it did. It's weird. But anyway, just different things you can do. And yeah, so that's the end of this video. This is just me more of an exploration of what you can do and ways you can use your effects on the iPad into the OP-1 to record back into it. So that is it for me, and I am out. I'll resume and try maybe something else later once I come up with some more ideas. I got some things that I've been thinking about exploring. So, and also we'll look at some of the other iPads things that we can do, and maybe use some of those and record into the SP or things of that nature. All right, I'm out.